Kia ora and welcome. This is my DCL1 assessment. Today's complex world demands self-regulated thinkers and learners who can take responsibility for their lives, their work, and their ongoing learning. It requires individuals to monitor their own work and to incorporate feedback to develop and improve their work products. An area for improvement in my practice is creating learning opportunities that foster self-regulation. In doing this, I hope to empower my learners and increase their motivation and engagement towards learning. As we prepare students for the future in jobs that potentially don't exist yet, we must constantly reflect and ensure we are providing opportunities for them to develop important 21st century skills. When rating myself and my learning experiences on the ITL rubric, majority of their lessons come out as level 1 or 2. Self-regulation and learner agency are words that I use regularly, but how am I actually planning and implementing experiences that foster the development of these skills? In most traditional classrooms, educators structure student work for them, directing them in exactly what to do and monitoring compliance. This quote from ITL generated some reflective thinking. I understand the importance of co-constructing learning outcomes with my students. However, when I started at a new school at the beginning of this year, I fell into a default mode of planning and implementing lessons without any input from my learners. This means I have struggled to get them motivated and excited to do their learning and to achieve to a high standard. By collecting some student voice, I was able to consider the views of the students in this learning process, and it became obvious that they did not feel particularly active in the learning. In Marie Bathurst's Travelling Fellowship, she talks about the importance of student voice in empowering learners. She quotes, "The concept of student agency transforms the notion of student voice to a completely different level. Agency invokes action, responsibility, mutual engagement, and respect." This was my first idea. When looking through the rubric and reflecting on this learning experience, it became clear that this activity was fully teacher-directed. It does provide digital and collaborative components, however, there are no opportunities for learners to self-regulate. With my second idea, I tried to include more components of the self-regulation rubric. However, I want the learners to develop their agency, and to do this, they need to have more of a say in the learning experience. When students are involved in the learning process and actively involved in decisions about the learning, they have greater agency. I plan to use an inquiry learning approach to increase self-regulation in my students. This draws on situated cognition, when learning is embedded in the activity and the context. John Seely Brown says, "Instead of pouring knowledge into people's heads, you need to help them grind anew a set of glasses so they can see the world in a new way." Parsons, 2015. We will work together and co-construct a question around endangered species. During our recent school camp, we went to the trout hatchery and learnt about the feel. This is a subject that is relevant to the learners and they are interested in learning more about. Harpaz and Lefstein advocate the use of fertile questions. This includes questions which are connected and relevant to the learner. We will use Trello as a digital platform to share our learning goals and success criteria, as well as keeping track of where we are in the process. This allows learners to take their learning at their own pace and to make their own choices about when and what they are doing. The increasing use of digital technologies inside and outside school allows tailoring of learning experiences to individual learners, to respond to learner-driven choices about where, what, and how learning occurs. They allow learners to manage the evidence to support and to demonstrate their achievement as learners. Over the course of this innovation, I will introduce learners to a range of digital tools. Using these digital tools will empower learners to show agency and decision-making skills, as well as developing important literacy skills such as synthesizing. Before students begin the task, we will work together and co-construct learning intentions and success criteria. These will be added to Trello and learners will be able to access these regularly. These will be used to inform both peer and teacher feedback. Absalom's work speaks of the importance of being clear about what is to be learned. Currently at Ōpaki, we don't have an inquiry learning process. I have chosen this innovation in order to motivate learners to make a difference. Jan-Marie Callow states the best thing about inquiry learning is the student ownership and empowerment. They have the power to make a difference in their community and the whole world, in fact. By implementing this innovation and having clear, co-constructed learning goals, I am hoping to see not only the development of self-regulation skills, an increase in student motivation. Black and Williams said, "Learning is easier when both the teacher and student have a clear image of where they are headed. Students need to see the big picture to make it worth their while. When students know the purpose and direction of their learning, they are likely to be more motivated." When rating this innovation on the self-regulation rubric, it meets all of the criteria to come out as a level 4. While the main focus for this innovation is empowering motivated and self-regulated learners, there are other skills and competencies that will be drawn on and developed. The students and I will be working together through this inquiry learning process, and there will be opportunity for learners to take on the role of expert. This draws on the concept of ako as identified in kahikatea. Ako is the teaching and learning relationship where the educator is also learning from the student. Students will also be increasing their collaboration skills as they are working interdependently. Gottkau refers to the term collaborative learning as an instruction method in which students at various performance levels work together in small groups towards a common goal. And of course, this innovation aligns with managing self, as students establish goals, make plans, manage projects, and set high standards. By implementing this innovation, I hope to work towards the vision statement of the New Zealand curriculum and empower young people who are confident, connected, actively involved, lifelong learners.